Boom, 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 boom,
It's a podcast.
boom, 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 boom.
Another podcast?
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
We've got too much to say.
Yeah.
Hey, can Alexa tune into Riots?
Which ones?
All of them. Illuminati symbol appears on the screen. Huh? Burns into the door. Oh no! Oh my! Man.
It's the intention.
Hey,
was
welcome to the
Wait.
welcome to the first
God damn it.
Too Much to Say.
Too much to say. That's us.
I'm Dylan with NY.
I'm Dylan with an I.
Wait, did I do that backwards?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm Dylan with an O.
Oh. I'm Dylan with an A circle A. Because I'm edgy.
Edgelord McFedora pants over here.
Fedora pants neck beard. My lady, I would never let him touch you.
Milady. Behind my katana you must be.
I have the power of God and anime on my side.
And large breasts.
Yes. Oh, such large breast on my mouse pad. So we're doing a podcast. This is something I've wanted to do for forever because when I worked at a place where I had to drive around and shit, I listened to podcasts for like 8 to 10 hours on end.
And we were on our first podcast with other people.
Yeah.
And we were like, we could probably do this.
Yeah, because
What's the podcast called?
ours?
Yeah.
Too much to say.
With the number 2?
Yes.
Wow, how fucking on brand
I
and
know,
original.
bro. I know.
Wait, do we have an intro?
No.
What? Is it the same intro?
No.
We're gonna have a new intro for this?
Yeah.
What's it gonna be?
Boo doo 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 boo doo boom. Boo dum boom boom boom. Boo dum boom 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 boom. Boo dum boom boom boom. Boo dum boom 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 boom. Boo dum boom boom boom. Boo dum boom 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 boom. Boo dum boom boom boom. We've got too much to say.
Is that it?
I guess.
I'll fix it in post.
Yeah, for sure. Hit that auto tune up, please.
I don't know if I can make that an intro.
I mean, we can definitely figure something out.
So what's the main topic of this podcast?
So I wouldn't say it's going to be the main topic of all of our podcasts. You know, I think it's going to differentiate each one we do probably, but this one, and like the main reason that got Dylan on board is
Okay, here's the deal.
Okay.
We're talking about Black Lives Matter,
Black Lives Matter,
the riots,
all the riots.
you know, all that shit that's going on because we're funny Let's Players.
Yes.
We mainly focus on comedy and we have a good time.
The main source of our channel is comedy.
Yeah, and all this stuff is really like weighing heavy on us.
Yes.
So we kind of want to just get everything out because we had some Dark Souls episodes that are very heavily laden with this stuff, and it's not very funny. And Dark Souls hasn't been very funny in a while because we've been very political. So
Pretty much that whole series so far.
I want to get everything out. I want to talk about it, get it off my chest, and I want to go back to being funny. I know it's going to be hard, you know, with all the stuff that's going on, but I think talking about it will make me feel better.
Plus, like right now, people need that. Right now people need to laugh. Like, and that's the whole point of us doing this is like, we hang out all the time anyway. We live together, but so we make each other laugh all day long.
And we just don't record it all.
Yeah, but like one of the main points of us doing this is like the goal is to make you guys forget about your day for like 30 minutes or however long an episode is, and just like laugh along at us being shitty at video games or just our shitty anecdotes and stuff like that, like just to get you out of your head. Yeah, anecdotes. Yeah, I just want to, it's like it's a small way to help the world, kind of make a world a better place, sort of, that's like the main goal.
Just by putting a little bit of humor in there.
Yeah, just have people laugh, man, because laughter's the best medicine.
Right.
I mean, come on.
So, I guess, how many days has it been since George Floyd died now?
I think 6.
It's been 6 days.
Let me see. I'll check.
5 or 6. So first of all, it was disgusting.
Foul.
That video was disgusting. I can't believe that was circulated on news and media,
dude,
and all that stuff. I can't believe people have access to that video of watching a man be murdered. I know people need to see that, but the fact that like anyone can access it, like I'm sure kids saw that on accident.
Oh, of course.
And the fact that was just done in public on a street, fucking Shame on that man.
Yep, like it wasn't anything.
He should be killed.
He should be.
He does not deserve to live.
I think he should be publicly lynched.
He looks like watching the video. He just like it's like he knows what's going on.
Yeah, he
just
came there for
doesn't
that.
have the capacity to give a shit.
He was murdered on May 25th, which is Memorial Day.
Right.
Wow,
that's nuts. So, I've wrestled with the thought of what was going on in that video because I've watched it a lot. I've watched it like over and over again. I was like looking for ways that he could have been saved or that things could have been different, and there really is nothing. He couldn't move because he was held down so hard, and the people who were there were too scared to do anything fairly. All four of them were murdering somebody right in front of them. I thought to myself like many a times, and I've had nightmares about it. Like if I was there, what would I do? And it's hard for me to say because I wasn't there, and I wouldn't know what to do. And I'm scared. I'd be scared to die. You know, if any one person had tackled him to get him off of there, I guarantee you that Asian cop would have shot to kill.
Oh, for sure.
Or like all four of them were out there for blood.
Yeah.
So anyone who tried to help that man would have died too, unless. And this is what I think, like how everyone's rioting all together right now and the cops really can't do anything about it.
Right.
If everyone on that street just came together to help that guy, you know, but, you know, I'm not going to, I don't shame anyone for what the choices that they made. I would have been scared as well. You know, I wouldn't have been the first to like be like, fuck, I'm charging in to save this man. Like I would have fought with it so much that he probably would have been gone by the time I got the balls up to actually go in there and do something.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, a lot of people are, you know, everybody on the internet saying all this shit, you know, if I was there, you know, this shit would have happened. But you cannot even possibly say that with truth behind it because you don't know. You don't know what it's like to be genuinely in there. Like,
Yeah,
we're watching
I'm
it
not
on
even
TV.
gonna try.
Yeah, we're watching it on TV. I like to think that, like, if you and I were both together, something would have happened, you know? Like, if we were there with our collective.
Oh, you're my rock, dude.
Yeah.
If you were there with me, like I would have charged in there with you.
Yeah, exactly. That's
But
how
if
feel.
if I was by myself, like just walking on the street, holding my groceries and stuff, and I was just like, oh no, what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? Like,
What do you
I
do?
probably would have done the same thing. I probably would have pulled my phone out and started recording, because
And thank God for that young girl.
Look what that did. Look at all this outrage this has sparked, and it's justified. Like, how long ago did Ahmaud Arbery die? That.
It was not that long ago, man. Let's check it out. I'll look that up too.
Did I accidentally call George Floyd Ahmaud Arbery?
No.
I didn't.
What, just now?
No, before when we were talking about him.
I don't think so.
If I did, I didn't mean that. I meant we were talking about George Floyd, but Ahmaud Arbery died recently before that. I don't know how long ago. It's probably like 2 weeks. And then that Breonna Taylor girl, when did she die? Wasn't it in the middle of that?
Dude, it's like...
There was a death every
it's
week.
pretty much back to back.
How,
right now, man.
how as a cop, as a collective unit of a SWAT or whatever they were, how do you get an address wrong?
Dude,
Like
that shit happens all the time, too.
How?
Who fucking knows? Like that one that...
Who the fuck is giving out these addresses?
Her boyfriend actually just got let off of charges. They dropped the charges
It's
on
nuts
him.
that he was even held for anything.
Absolutely. It's
Because
disgusting.
if anyone busted in my house unannounced, guess what?
You're getting shot.
You're getting shot.
This is America.
Yeah.
The land of guns.
The land of the free.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
Big air quotes. So he was murdered February. It was in February when Ahmaud Arbery was murdered. And I'm not sure on the Breonna Taylor. I can't remember any of the dates, dude. It's all back to back.
It just, yeah.
It's getting caught up in the void. Like, it's nonstop, really. And as sad as it is, George Floyd kind of turned out to be a martyr in a way, because if he didn't die, like if somebody did save him, the uproar would be minimal.
It would be minimal, yeah. They would be like, oh my God, he would have killed him if he had stayed on his neck any longer. And then they would have been like, but he didn't. So it's not that big a deal, is it?
Exactly.
Did you see what they said this morning?
What?
George Floyd had coronavirus.
Oh my fucking God! Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and then they told me about that where I walked into work, and they were like, "Hey, guess what? George Floyd was positive for coronavirus." I was like, "So they say he had coronavirus. They say he was drunk. They said he'd recently used coke. Like, what else? Please tell me what else. Did he have a rare blood disorder that made him his heart seize up when he had a knee right on his neck? Or did it have nothing to do with the knee on his neck? Was it because he was on the ground? Did he smell the asphalt and it made his heart stop?" I swear they're just like trying to get this cop off as much as they can.
Well, they're making up all this shit or saying all this shit. Like, The cops are mad. Their cops are trying to say this man wasn't healthy enough to survive being strangled on the street for 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, no fucking shit.
I don't
No
think,
shit.
No one's no one's that fit. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be a fucking Marine or some shit to be. I mean, come on, man. Get the fuck out of here with that.
So Mr. Anarchist, what do you think about the riots that are going on?
Man,
I mean, okay, so
is
let me ask
difficult.
you this.
Okay.
At first, what were your thoughts?
Okay.
Now, what are your thoughts? When
Fair.
it was first happening?
Okay, so riots are the voice of people who go unheard for too long. You can't expect people to keep peacefully protesting and doing all the shit peacefully with no avail.
You can't voice yourself any other way because, like, I mean, look at us. We barely have a platform to stand on. You know, no one listens to us. If we went out in that crowd with those people and we protested and rioted as well, more people would know us. Like,
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Well, it's just like the thing is like they want people to peacefully protest so they can ignore it. You can't ignore a building on fire. You can't ignore this anymore. We don't need to. So as shitty as it is, and I know that I'm not saying go out and burn down everything. Like these local businesses that are getting fucked up, even though they're being recompensated by the same city and shit like that.
That's
like,
wrong. Like that they should
do
have
that.
nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
do not, especially black-owned businesses, because you're fucking everything up.
Like what I think, go home, do your research, you know, in your own communities because that's where you're protesting. Like
Yeah.
do your research, see what businesses are owned by who, honestly. And even beyond that, don't even fuck with the businesses. Like go for big chain stores or like the precincts.
The precincts,
or the fucking the courthouse. I mean,
when they first
any
started, they were
government
nailing
building.
it, man.
Like it has nothing to do with the community. Leave the community alone.
Leave the
Go for the
community
fucking
alone.
government buildings.
Like people are. The thing is, I will never advocate destroying local or small businesses. You know, the shit that keeps the economy going in your area, because that's how money works. You know, you pay this local business, and that money stays in your community. You know, but I don't give two fucks about Target. I don't care. They probably made more money off the insurance than they would have selling the products anyway.
Right.
I don't give a fuck about Target. They don't give a fuck about us, you know? You can't... And it's not even important. You can't put all this importance, like, on Target. That was the biggest one, right? That's like when people started getting really pissy. Like, oh my God, they destroyed this fucking Target. And it started getting people off topic. Like, but why? Why did Target start getting fucked up, you know? And I know people are out here for their own selfish gain, you know? Not everybody is fighting this fight to fight this fight. They're fighting this fight to get a flat screen, you know? So people keep talking to me about it because I've been very vocal about it online. And people keep commenting on my shit like, you know, it's obvious they're not out here for George Floyd anymore, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, it started with that, though. That's what started it, you know? We are out here for George Floyd, but now it's getting to the point because of how the police have just been going back at it, like drive by tear gassing people and pepper spraying everybody and like slamming these fucking skinny ass little white girls on the ground and shit.
But
like
before you get like too off track, like how do you feel about the riots now?
Oh, sorry. Okay, so now I feel like when they started doing the riots, it was well founded, you know? People are pissed. It's sad, but there's no such thing as a pretty revolution. Mm-hmm. Now, I still kind of feel the same. I mean, it's shitty that all these businesses are being destroyed, and I understand that it's fucking people up, but we wouldn't be talking about it if they weren't doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, nobody would give even half a fuck if this all just ended up being like people holding picket signs at the courthouse.
So, like, how I feel, I think at first, I think it was the whole point was to demonstrate how powerful the people are together.
Yes.
Compared to the force that's holding them down.
Yeah.
So I think the point was well driven once they burned down that police precinct. I think that was founded. Like they definitely should have done that. Yes.
They nailed that.
And then I think after that they should have stopped. Just not because they should have stopped. I think they should have like let it go there. Mm-hmm. Give it a couple days because I think the whole point should have been to put the fear into the heads of those in charge that's like, hey, we can fuck you up, dude.
I can agree with that. Like, just
fix this.
fucking fuck shit up real bad.
But now
for
they
one
just
night
like,
and then be like, now what?
And then be like fix this or it gets worse.
Yeah, or this shit's gonna keep happening.
And then continue. But right now it just seems like there's no appeasing the people who are doing this.
Yeah.
That they're just going to keep doing this, even if they get what they want, because no one knows what they want really.
They don't even know.
Yeah. So it's kind of got. I guess the mission kind of got lost in the sauce, but there's still people out there, there for that mission. But there's also, there's like, I think there are 3 groups involved. So there's the police and enforcements,
right.
like that's
12.
one side. Then we've got the protesters who are there for George Floyd, and then we've got the people who are trying to take advantage of the protests,
yes,
steal, loot, hurt people, or like get other messages across, like. They're trying to put their stuff on top of the Black Lives Matter movement. Yeah, their own agendas by, destroying certain businesses they don't like or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But,
no, I agree, man. And, like, it's, I don't know. The people that are so angry about it are the same people that were supporting the people running up in that government building with them ARs talking about, you can't tell me to wear a mask. That was like a predominantly white thing, I feel like, going on. You can't tell me to wear a mask. You can't tell me social distance, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I have rights. And they're in these buildings with these fucking ARs, and the cops are just like, okay, yeah, okay. We understand why you're angry. But as soon as it becomes a racial thing, it's a whole nother side of the coin. Like, you want us to stop killing you? How fucking dare you? Pepper spray, tear gas, fucking... I saw some shit today. This cop was letting this dog fuck this dude up. Or I think it was a little girl. I don't remember. But, like, the reason it's still happening now, I think, is because... Well, let me rephrase this. People are saying that you guys aren't out here for George Floyd anymore. And part of that's true. We're out about the whole situation. This is an ongoing thing.
It is about George Floyd. Like, that's the...
He's a piece of the puzzle.
He's a piece of it. He's the flint that sparked the fire, but the whole fire is, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Because cops cops usually, like, everyone will say, oh yeah, cops kill white people. Every time they kill a white person, it's because it was a founded, kill. It was justified. So that person tried to attack them.
More times than not.
Yeah, more times than not. It's, they pull a gun on them. They go in because they want suicide by cop, stuff like that. It's rarely ever fucking, oh, we got the wrong address.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Oh, we used excessive force on this guy who counterfeited $20. It's never the white guy who has that problem. It's always, whenever a white guy dies by cop, it's fucking, they're robbing a bank. They've got a kid hostage and they get sniped. Some shit like that.
Involved.
It's never like they get pulled out of their car, tasered, and beat the shit out of, and then they die later from their injuries.
That's the thing, is like people. First of all, I feel like this is blatantly obvious by this point in this podcast, but we definitely stand with Black Lives Matter, regardless. And people who like these All Lives Matter fuckers are so ignorant to everything, and they're so self-preserving.
Put the comic up here.
Bing.
That's all you need to know to explain why they're stupid.
Like, shut the fuck up. No one is saying all lives don't matter. And also, if all lives matter, Black Lives Matter wouldn't exist. It wouldn't be needed if that's how you guys actually feel. All lives don't matter, obviously, to the system and shit. All lives matter differently, even though we're all the same shit. And the people that are saying this are the same people that want to argue with me about privilege and all this shit. Like, one of my... Someone I know the other day, I shared something about privilege, and we'll put it up right here if I can find it. But I shared this thing, and he sent me this book, like, come on, Dylan, think about your life. It was far from privileged, blah, 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 because Dylan, you and I both have had, like, less than favorable upbringings or whatever. But that doesn't have anything to do with what privilege is. Privilege is like, when I get pulled over, I don't think this guy might shoot me. Like, I hate when cops are behind me. I'm cops being around me makes me super uncomfortable, nervous. If a cop is behind me, I'll pull in somewhere and let them get in front of me and shit. I don't fuck with them at all. But I don't think in my mind like, damn, there's like a fucking 50% chance he might pull me out the car and kneel on my fucking neck.
Right.
Like that's not a fear I have. That's what privilege is.
Well,
It's also we have like, I'm sorry, but also we have
fine.
like a head start in everything almost. Like we just by the color of our skin we have things kind of go better for us.
Yeah.
More than not. Not all the time, obviously, but
So I'll say most of the time I'm in between the spectrum of Democrat and Republican.
Yeah.
But I'm not like an independent or anything. So most people tell me I'm more conservative.
Right.
I don't really follow politics, so I don't understand what that means. But like I'm okay with owning guns.
Yeah.
And certain other things. But so I work with a lot of Republicans.
A lot.
And none of them agree with this movement. Everyone's like, I've asked one of the guys there was like, if a cop told me to shoot you to keep civil order, I would. And I was like, what?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, he said he would shoot me to keep civil order. So there are people who are like, fuck people and their rights. And it's everyone I work with is white.
It's disgusting.
So,
that should let you know the mindset of these people. If a cop told me to shoot you, I would shoot you. What?
No, yeah, why would you would listen to just some random fucking guy? Someone you don't know to shoot someone you do know? What if he was like, shoot your wife because there's too many women here?
Well, yeah, they would do it, right?
I guess. But I want to say, like, my point was, like, I'm more conservative, but I don't feel the way they feel about this at all. I think they're completely wrong. The Black Lives Matter movement is right.
Super well founded.
These protests are right.
Mm-hmm.
So, he asked me, he was like, I don't understand, why do you hate cops so much? Because I told him I dislike cops greatly. I've never liked them. My very first encounter with a cop was when I was 14 years old. I was 14 years old, and I'm standing there with my girlfriend at the time, and it's like 7 o'clock in South Carolina. So, like, the sun's going down. 2 cops pull up. Okay, well, 1 cop car, 2 cops. The one guy gets out. The other guy gets out. The main guy goes up to my girlfriend at the time, and he says, excuse me, ma'am, there's a guy going around smashing mailboxes, and we were trying to locate him. We got a call about him. Do you have any idea where he could be? And I'm standing right next to her. The guy who's talking, I'm like, actually, excuse me, sir, I know, because I saw the guy who was doing it, and I was about to snitch, like, real fucking hard.
6'9".
So then I go, actually, I know, I saw, and before I even finished, the second cop, who has, like, the typical handlebar mustache and sunglasses, even though it's dark out, grabs me by my shirt, pushes me up against the tree, and he says, no one was talking to you. You will speak when spoken to, like I was a dog.
Yep.
And I was just a fucking kid. He held me up against that tree, and it wasn't like, I don't know how hard he was holding me. I couldn't really tell. I was just so scared because, I was a little kid, and there's a grown man holding me like this. And, like, in that moment, I felt like how powerless I could be. Like, because that guy could have, like, broke my neck in a second.
Yeah, he was imposing his will on you with ease.
And I could do nothing about it. So I was being bullied by a person who couldn't be called a bully.
Yep.
So he holds me there. The guy keeps talking to my girlfriend, and then he lets me go. And he held me up against that tree for like 5 minutes, and it felt pretty tight, or I was having a panic attack. I don't fucking know.
Probably both.
And then guess what? They left without having any more information. Yeah. Didn't even talk to me, even though I told him what was up, or even though he knew what I was going to say. Like, I put out enough of that sentence for him to know.
Yeah.
And, they just left. So they'd rather have terrorized me than actually catch the person who was smashing mailboxes.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what they were out to do. I don't know. Like they were trying to kill time, and by me telling them what they needed to know would have ended their shift faster, and they would have go ahead and deal with actual stuff or something.
Yep.
But that was my first one, and then like everyone after that has been a situation where I've had to call because of like domestic violence. Like, not from me, from my ex-wife.
Yeah, obviously.
So, like, there's an issue between us. We were fighting over stuff after we got divorced. And I would call the cops and be like, hey, we can't settle this ourselves. I need someone to be here to help remove her from my house. And it just never, we were lower income. So it was a waste of their time, is what it felt like. Every time I've ever had police involved, it was like a waste of their time. Like, geez, God, disgusting. Why the fuck am I here? And then the owner of the place where I work, I explained to him, I was like, you can't understand what it's like to be me against you. And he's like, there's no difference. I was like, no, there is a difference. I was like, your dad owns these shops that take care of the cops.
Do you want to tell the story that started this, just in case they missed it on Dark Souls?
Which one is that?
That started the conversation at your work and shit like that.
That
The
they would
Facebook
shoot me?
post?
Oh, the Facebook post. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dylan put up a Facebook post that had hashtag fuck12 in it, and then he made me delete it because we have a contract to work on police vehicles, and he told me that the cops would tell him to let me go because I posted something like that. So, freedom of speech, am I right? So
Yeah,
I had
for
to
sure.
delete it, and that's where this conversation came from. I asked him, I said, hey, are you going to fire me because I hate cops? And he asked me why I hate cops, and that's how this whole conversation started.
Mm-hmm.
But where did I leave? What was I saying? What was I saying before you told me to tell that?
Oh, your boss was saying shit like,
Oh, I was telling him he couldn't understand because his dad took care of all these cops his whole life, and like he was like a pillar of the community or whatever. And so like anytime he calls, they're like, "Oh, this is the guy that works on our cars. You know, take care of him." That's how
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
But when I call, who the fuck is this guy? Did we even know him? Dude, wrap it up, and get back to base. You
Yeah.
know, fucking, we got important people to take care
yeah,
of.
we got donuts to eat and
We
black people
don't-
to kill.
Yeah, we don't got time for these hood guys. So, yeah, actually, I'd like to go on a lighter note real quick.
Okay.
So it's Pride Month.
It is. Happy
And-
Pride Month, guys.
Yeah, so it's Pride Month, and even though it's Pride Month, it's fucking. I think it's so great. It shows how great these people are that they're like, hey, you know, this is Pride Month, but we can wait.
Yeah.
We can just move it. It's
Yeah.
not that big a deal. Like,
Exactly.
let them have their thing. Let Black Lives Matter do what they need to do. Let's help them.
Yeah,
you
they're
know?
helping
And
instead
they're
of,
like,
like,
we didn't
taking
get Pride
attention.
we didn't get Pride until we did the same fucking thing. So
Right.
let's help them.
Exactly.
But then you got what happened before this Memorial Day. Fucking, you're not gonna impose on my Memorial Day.
Yeah.
You know.
God damn it, I want to go outside.
Yeah, everything has to be on the same goddamn day. Mm-hmm. So like, I think it's really cool that they're just like, no, relax, guys. You do your thing. We'll take care of our thing when yours is over.
Yeah, I think they moved it to October, right?
I'm
That's
not
the last
sure.
time I heard. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but still, I
But
think.
yeah,
it's,
I agree, dude.
awesome.
Shout out to the LGBTQ community. We stand with y'all too, for sure. And I'm glad that they stand with the rest of us.
Yeah, I feel better having talked about everything. I'm. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's your asthma for the day.
You're welcome. Like, so while we're recording this, we're sitting here watching the news, right?
Yeah, we just got it, like, just in case we like run out of stuff to say.
Yeah, and plus I didn't want to sit in here with just like staring at a black screen. And they keep it shows you how normalized this shit is because they continuously. I can't tell you how long have we been doing this podcast?
27 minutes.
In 27 minutes, how many times have you seen George Floyd on this fucking ground?
Oh, a lot.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Instead of which is what people need to see. It's the harsh reality of shit. But still, like, show that, but also show who he was, man. Like, people are treating this like this wasn't a guy, you know? Not people, but, you know, the small minority of people that think differently. Like that fucking one cop that went all over Facebook and was talking about, I think the precinct jumped the gun firing fucking Derek Chauvin or whatever the fuck. You know, he was probably resisting. They jumped the gun, you know, look into it. What happened to innocent until proven guilty? What happened to letting people breathe?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I have a feeling he's gonna be innocent or acquitted.
I think so too. And
I think, and then when that happens,
Bro.
it's fucking, it's civil war.
that's going to be the start of it. Like,
That's
shit
going.
is going to go.
That's going.
So
It's going to
fucking-
determine whether there is a civil war or not. Because right now
Yeah.
it's just a. It's like a de-escalation of civil war. Like it's like a step below it.
Yeah.
Like because it's right now it's just what is it? Unrest. It's civil
It's
unrest.
unrest, yes.
So it's civil unrest. But once he's acquitted or they say he's innocent for some stupid reason, first they're gonna kill him. The people are
Yes.
gonna kill him
He
themselves.
is not going to make it.
Yeah, he will not. The people will kill him themselves unless this country does whatever it can to keep that man alive for whatever reason,
Which they will.
which they will. Because when Minneapolis was burning down, every cop was at his house.
Yep.
Yeah,
Every single fucking one.
instead of protecting the city, they were protecting him.
Yep.
Which shows you how much they
That's where they put their importance.
Yeah, that's where they put their importance in each other. Yeah. I don't know.
It's disgusting. Well, that's how it goes. You know, I think it was Mitch actually who was telling me he had a buddy that was training to be a police officer. Like that's what he wanted to do for all the right reasons or whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But so he went on a ride along and for training, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a cop in front of them that was like going 90 or something or breaking the law. And the cop who was training Mitch's friend was like, you know, out here we don't pull over cops. You know, we take care of our own. We don't. You know, we don't deal with that. Which is fucked.
Which
it's
means
a gang.
It's a legal gang.
It's
so
just a gang.
it means they're above the law.
Yeah.
So like since they are the law, they're just like, oh, this guy, cop, totally good. I know a guy who his dad was in the military.
Yeah.
Or something, and he has a hat that like only people in the military can get.
Yeah.
He puts it in his back window because cops let him go.
Wow.
Because he drives really fast. It's the guy I bought my M3 off of.
Okay.
Scott. So he puts that hat in the back and he goes whatever fucking speed he wants. And if he gets pulled over, they'll ask him about the hat, and then he'll say who his dad was, and they'll be like, "Have a good day, sir." Isn't that fucking
Dude,
crazy?
That's exactly how it goes. It's
I
like,
was going 75 and a 65, okay, because
Yeah.
my car was overheating. Lady pulled me over and she goes, "Do you know how fast you were going?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I was going 75." And she's like, "Can you tell me why you were going that fast?" And my car started smoking. I was like, "My car's overheating. I'm trying to get home so I don't have to pay for a tow." You know, so because driving faster made it cool faster,
yeah.
and my radiator was leaking, so the car was overheating. But if I went fast, then it would keep it cool. And then she goes, "All right, well, let me run your stuff." She runs my stuff, and she goes, "Wow, do you know you've never had a speeding ticket before?" I was 23.
Which is impressive.
And she was like, "You've never had a speeding ticket before?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually very proud of that." And she wrote me a fucking ticket.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. I should have had like a fucking fake hat and been like, "Yeah, my dad fucking served for 20 years in Vietnam."
Yeah.
And then they would have been like, "Okay, you have a nice day.
Have a good one,
Like,
brother.
it wasn't even like, "Wow, you have a really clean record. Like, I'd like to help you keep that. You've been very nice." You know, you, like, I was like, I pulled over really far off the road so that she didn't have to stand in the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she walked to that window, I was like, "Would you mind going to the other window? Because I'm afraid someone might hit you." You know, I was like very considerate, very nice to her. And I even thanked her for giving me the fucking ticket.
Oh, my God. Just munching boots.
Yeah. But that was before I was like, because even though I had that first really bad encounter, I wasn't like, I hate cops.
Right.
You know, because not enough had happened for me to like really open my eyes to it. So I was still like, oh, these guys are here to protect us. And then there were the situations where I needed them. And then they were like, fuck you. You're some poor guy I don't know. If you don't have any community ties, they don't care about you.
And if they know your parents, like the same way, like if they know your parents or if your parents have like that kind of clout or whatever, they'll let you go. If they know your parents or family are, you know, less than favorable people in the eyes of the law, you're fucked.
My biggest thing about it was so when me and my ex-wife got divorced, before we got divorced, she took the kids and she fled to Kentucky.
Yep.
She didn't tell me where she went, and my kids were gone for a month. I couldn't get her to come back. I couldn't get her to like tell me where she was, and I called the cops, okay? And I was like, "Hey, can you guys help me? You know, she took my kids, blah blah blah." And they're like, "Oh, sorry. Legally, we can't do anything because that's your wife. And she can go wherever she wants, and we don't have to tell you if she's not complicit. Like if she says, 'Don't tell him where I'm at,' they don't." So they were like, "Oh, you know, that's the law, blah blah blah." But then, they fucking break the law whenever the fuck they want. So like in that one situation where I really needed help, genuinely trying to find my fucking kids, I had to trick her to come back and serve her papers so that she couldn't leave the state again. They could have helped me there, but they pick and choose what laws they want to break. So that law, they were like, "Man, we don't know this guy. We're not going to do anything to help him. Fuck him." But then you got what else? What else have they done that's against the law? Fucking how they force these rioters, like put guns in their hands,
dude. That shit's
destroy
disgusting.
stuff and blame it on them.
The one that actually started the riot.
Yeah.
At that AutoZone or Safe, whatever the fuck.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
So they only break the law. They break the law all the time, but they won't break the law for the people that they're trying to protect or help or whatever. Like,
and it's even like it doesn't matter how minuscule or large the law is, you're still breaking a law, at least in their eyes, you know. Mm-hmm. So But they do like the little shit all the time. Like I can't tell you how many times I've seen cops, you know, turn their lights on to run a red light, or like up here at that corner, there's a sign you can't turn left at this intersection between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I watched one go. I've seen them do it all the fucking time. But if I were to do that, bro, whoop, whoop.
Oh yeah, on the street over, it's a very small street. It's like one car can pass through.
Oh yeah.
And there's a curb, and you can't park on the curb. Like it's called something, but you can't park on it because it's city property, or it's the city.
Mm-hmm.
Should I believe that?
Maybe.
Okay, so that's the property of the city. And they went on that street and they gave everyone tickets that day. Now, the thing is, when they park on the street without parking on that thing, fire trucks and buses can't get through. So they have to turn around in a very small neighborhood to go around that street if they happen to turn onto it. Now, there's a cop that lives on the same street, and he parks in his grass, which is not allowed.
At all.
It's the same cop that gave them all tickets. So my boss put a picture of it up and said, I guess the only ones allowed to break the law are the ones that make the law. And they forced him to take the post down because we pretty much work for them. And they were like, hey, take this down.
Right.
You can't post this. And that guy lives there. So he parks like that every single day.
Yep.
But he'll give anyone else a ticket who does otherwise.
They can do whatever the fuck
so
they want.
So do as
man.
I say, but not as I do.
It's fucking ridiculous.
They don't hold each other accountable for the laws they enforce. They're just like, we don't have to, listen to these laws. Everyone else does, though.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's crazy because I always thought, wow, we live in the freest place on earth, and we don't.
No.
Like, you can't do anything. You do anything that catches a cop's attention, and you're going to jail or they're stopping you. I drove from South Carolina to Ohio because we were moving back when a very long time ago when I was like 18. So we moved and I drove that whole trip, right? I drove to a Sunoco in North Carolina, and it was really late at night because it was we went back and forth driving all of our stuff from South Carolina to Ohio. I think I made 2 full trips in my car.
Mm.
The second trip back we got to North Carolina. It was really late and I can't sleep in a car. So I pulled over to Sunoco, filled up, peed, and then I tried to go to sleep. And then I moved, after sitting there for 30 minutes trying to sleep, I couldn't get comfortable, and I was like, screw it, I'll keep driving. So I go to keep driving, and a cop comes out of nowhere. He was hiding somewhere, and he pulls me over. And he's like, do you know why I pulled you over, son? I was like, no, not really. He's like, suspicious activity,
What?
which it's an unlawful stop.
Yeah.
So, like, he stopped.
Suspicious isn't illegal.
Yeah, he stopped me unlawfully, and then he shined his fucking bright flashlight in my 1-month-old's face while he was sleeping in the back seat and goes, "Is that a baby back there?" Yeah.
Yeah,
What
man.
do you fucking think it is, man?
No, that's a football.
And then he goes, has me sit there for 25 minutes while he looks shit up and calls people, I guess, like, hey, can I kill this guy? And then
Yep.
he comes back up and he's like, you're free to go. And then I was like, excuse me, how do I get out of here? And he's like, you'll figure it out. And then he just left. I've never had any good interaction with a cop.
Yeah.
I've never been nothing more than a waste of time to these people.
Dude,
Even when they
don't
stop
give a
me.
fuck. They don't
Even
give a
when they
fuck.
stop me.
I had back when I was a kid, I was probably like 13 or 14, something like that. And we used to go up to the local library to smoke weed. And this time, instead of just hanging out at the library had like this little alcove or cove, whatever the fuck, in the like actual building that you could just go in and hang out. But this time we actually went to this little playground area they had down the way, and we were all under there smoking or whatever. And my friend rolled his weed in a like a cigarette case. So my friend rolls his weed. He's not my friend anymore. I haven't liked him since this time frame. But anyway, so he rolls his weed in like a metal cigarette case, that people used to carry around.
Yeah.
And the cops pull up, whoop, whoop, and
So whoop.
we all get up, and they're like, I start looking around, and they're like, dude, don't fucking run. And I was like, Jesus, okay, fine. I was a fucking fat kid too. Like, there's no way I'm running anyway. So they line us all up and they search all our pockets. And like 2 days before this happened, my good friend got jumped in this area. and they like beat him up with golf clubs and shit and broke his hand.
Damn.
Yeah, and so when I was up there, I kept something on me to defend myself, just in case something like that would pop off. And this time it was brass knuckles, like really well-made, handmade brass knuckles. And they took those from me, and then they searched the rest of everybody, and nobody had anything except my friend who rolled his weed in that metal tin. But because they found those brass knuckles on me, they took the tin from him and then came over to me and opened it like, "What's this?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know." He was like, "No, you see that little bit of weed crumb in there? I know what you guys are doing." And he's like, "And we found this on you, so how are you going to tell me you don't know what I'm talking about?" I was like, "You didn't find that on me." And they're like, "Yes, the fuck we did." Like, are you calling me a fucking liar? Type shit. Popping off, man. Just like trying to flex that big boss cock because they're police and we're literal children. "You're going to call me a liar?" And I was like, "Yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm not going to call you a liar, man, but you didn't find that
I
on
ain't
me."
calling you a truther.
But I ain't calling you a truther. And I was like, "You didn't find that on me, man." He's like, "Oh, so who had it?" And I was like, "I have no idea, but it wasn't me. So take my name off the list."
Pulling that Shaggy.
Yeah, it wasn't me. And they took all my cigarettes, took my brass knuckles, tried to pin me for weed.
They robbed you.
Yeah, they robbed me is what happened. And then fucking made us all disperse and walk separate ways and shit. And then like
Robbed you and told you you couldn't hang out with your friends.
yep, robbed me and fucking grounded me, basically. And it's always like little shit like that when I was a kid. And it's never gotten better. That's not true. I've had one good experience with a police officer.
I've had one too. Just remind me when you're done.
Okay.
I'll say what it was.
When my lady I was with this girl for 8 years, right? And we broke up. And then like right after we broke up, I started talking to this girl who I was like convinced was my soulmate. So, like right when you first start talking to a girl that you're really into, you talk to her like all the time. Mm-hmm. So I was driving with my brother Frank, and it was like 2 a.m. and we were just out driving around because I was like in a huge depressive slump. And he was like, "Man, let's just drive. Let's just go drive and listen to music all night." So that's what we were doing. And we were on this narrow street. It was a road. We were on this narrow road. We were driving, and I was going like 50 in this 25. I was swerving a lot. I was really fucked up, and I was texting and driving. And so we got pulled over, naturally. And in my mind, I'm like, well, fuck. Because this is completely my fault, I can't blame anything on anything. This isn't like... He couldn't see me through the car, so I'm not going to get mad at this cop. So he pulled me over, and he was like, "Man, you got to slow down, buddy. I'm right behind you." And I was like, "I'm sorry, dude. To be honest, I didn't see you." And he was like, "All right, well, give me your IDs and shit." So he ran our shit, and then he came back, and he was like, "I'm going to let you guys go tonight. Just, you really need to, like, be more aware of, like, who's driving behind you, because, like, if I pull you over again, it's going to be an issue." And I was like, "All right, man, cool." And he just let us go. Mm-hmm. And that was like the coolest shit I've ever had happen with a cop. Because every time they pull me over, it's like I always get at least a ticket. And nowadays, because of the way I look and shit, they always try to like, I don't know, weed shit out. Like, I'm still waiting for the day the cops pull me over and say they smell weed in my car. Mm-hmm. Because I look like the way I do and shit, and the way I act and come off to people. Everybody thinks I'm a big weed man. I haven't smoked in like 6 years, but that shouldn't be a mindset that I have, I shouldn't have to think about that. The point of the cops is for our safety, or that's what they sell it as. So why the fuck do I feel the most unsafe when a cop is behind me?
Right.
Or in the same building as me?
Right.
So, you had
when,
a good interaction with a cop.
When I was 17, my mom kicked me out of the house. Well, she kicked me out when I was 16, and I turned 17 like the next week.
Right.
So I moved in with
and 17 is the age of...
It's the adult age, like I can live on my own and shit.
Right.
So, that's how it was in South Carolina. Here it's like 8. Up north it's 18, but down there it's like 17.
You can get emancipated at 16 here.
Yeah, you have to. You have to get like a whole bunch of legal bullshit. But anyway,
sorry.
She kicked me out. I moved, and then my mom was like, she was using scare tactics to try to get me to drop out of high school, which is a whole nother fucking story.
Big time.
So then she tried to get me to come back. She called the cops on me 3 times. Okay, and the first 2 times they were shitty ass fucking like sunglass wearing cops, even though they didn't need sunglasses on. Fucking like, you need to go back home to your mother, boy. Shit
jakes.
like that. And then they'd leave because I wasn't going back. My mom was abusive my whole life. I'm not going back. The third time, this black cop came up, and he goes, "Excuse me, I was sitting on the porch. He's like, I'm looking for Dylan Schwartz," and I'm like, "That's me, officer," because I knew what was happening again.
Right.
And he
It's not your
goes,
first rodeo.
"Yeah," and he goes, "Yeah, son, your mom sent me here." He was the only one who actually got on my level and talked to me. And he was like, "Listen, man, you should go back to your mom. She loves you. She cares for you, blah, blah, blah." Gave me the whole spiel. And I was like, "Officer, you don't understand. She does not love me. That woman just uses me for her own ends.
Yep.
Like, I'm just there to make money for her. She wants the Social Security check that she gets from me. She wants me to work for her so that she can make money and she can abuse me." I was like, it's not a safe place for me to be. And he's like, huh. I'm looking at this now. Where do you live? And I told him my address, and he goes, "Huh." He's like, "Is this the house that got shot up with the BBs because that nasty bitch lives there and won't leave the kids alone on the street?" And I was like, "That's my mom." And he's like, "Don't fucking go back." He's like, "You're 17, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're cool, man. I'll make sure no cop ever comes to bother you again." That was the only good interaction I've had with a cop ever.
And see, that's beautiful.
And what's funny is he's the only black cop I've ever met.
Really?
Every other one was white. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was the coolest.
Well, that's how it should be, man. That's the way they should be. They should be here for us,
Yeah.
That's the
He's
point.
the only cop that was there for me. Everyone else was there for, like, their job. Like, oh, fuck, dude. How can I get out of this quick?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't want to deal with this right now.
It's fucked, dude. It's fucked. It's gotten to the point now where it's sad where we're at now. And then I've been noticing right when this shit started happening, you remember when I was telling you, like, I cannot wait to start seeing, like, all these people start hashtagging ACAB and shit on everything. Like,
Yeah.
all these uppity bitches and dudes, either way, like, all these guys that were, like, jocks and preps their whole lives, probably wanted to be a cop. Fucking always the people that are like, well, the cops have a scary job. Like, what would you do? All these apologists and shit. And I knew as soon as this shit happens, it's like when a rapper dies that nobody really fucked with, but as soon as they die, everyone's a day one fan.
I fucked with his music all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, rest in peace.
Man, R.I.P. I never got merch from his table, but now that Hot Topic has it, I'm getting that T-shirt. Fuck them people.
This lady's name is Bowser? Oh my God! The mayor of Washington D.C.'s last name
Mayor
is fucking
Muriel
Bowser. Did she design the castle?
Isn't the new president of Nintendo Bowser as well?
Yep.
Dude,
Or he's the CEO.
that's baby girl right there, then. But get back to it.
Baby Bowser.
Baby girl Bowser, baby Bowsette, dude.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to the show, guys. Sorry. So I knew that would happen, and that's exactly what has been happening. I see ACAB more than I've ever seen it, and it originated in it has its roots in the punk community. ACAB, like punk, folk punk, all that shit, anti-establishment
Fuck
people.
the government. My girlfriend hates me. Living in a car.
I drink coffee and smoke cigarettes. And I knew that was going to happen. And then people are asking what ACAB means and all these things. And the biggest thing is like, not all cops are bad, blah, blah, blah. And it's the same people that say that are the same people that are like, all Muslims are bad. Or shit like that. Like all black people are robbers, or, that it's okay that, fuck, man.
Or kill the protesters.
I'm so fucking pissed. They can box people into a box.
Yeah, they're like, kill. Like we're saying, get rid of the cops, and they're saying kill the protesters.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're just saying get rid of the cops.
The
fucking
leader
start
of the
over.
free fucking world is telling different states to start murdering our citizens.
So
They would rather kill and arrest thousands than just kill and arrest these 4 cops.
I'll say I was okay with Trump, not because of his him as a person, but his policies were really good with the business aspect, because the economy really needed to get moving again, because with Obama, Bush, and Clinton, it never really moved. It stayed the same. He renegotiated those trade deals. He actually got some stuff moving, and he was really good at the business end of it. But the leader part, He's so fucking
Boy.
he's so foul. Okay, so when it came to coronavirus, when that shit popped off, you know, the whole point of being the president is that when a state of emergency is declared or like it's about to happen, you're ahead of that and you're like, hey, listen, here's what we got to do. What did he do? He fucking ignored it.
He went golfing, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. He's always all presidents are always golfing, dude. You can't even like say that on him. Everyone does it.
No,
But
no.
when the coronavirus thing started popping, he's like, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Blah blah blah. And you know, then everyone freaked out about it, and he didn't really jump in front of it, even though apparently it's not that big a deal anymore, or it is. I don't know. They change their minds every day. He didn't jump in front of it, and now we got these protests happening, and it took this motherfucker 5 days to even make a response.
Yep.
That first day, he should have been out there like, this is disgusting. I can't believe the people of my... He should have soothed his people. He should have used his voice, you know, that everyone can hear, like, listen, I'm stepping in, I'm taking care of this, okay? We don't need to destroy our cities, we don't need to destroy our communities. I will take care of this. And what did he do? He didn't do shit. He didn't even talk about it.
He hid in the White House bunker.
No, he did on like the fourth day
Yeah.
or third day. So he just ignored it, and he was like, fuck, who cares? It's just another black guy.
Yep.
And then he hid in his bunker, and now he's like, just kill him.
Yeah.
Kill him. We don't need that many people. Just
It's
kill
like
them
the
all.
biggest gang leader mob boss shit. Oh, they're not doing they're not bending to my whim. They're not going to stop speaking up against this fucking bullshit that's been going on for fucking centuries with these people. They're not fucking going to stop. Send my shooters in.
Yeah.
Send my fucking shooters
So now
in.
we've got the cops, we've got the National Guard, and we've got the military, and I do not understand.
It's horrifying.
What I don't understand is how the people on that side can look at the people that they are meant to protect and fight them. How? How can
Yeah.
you do that?
Well, some cops are actually quitting.
Well, what I'm saying is if I was a cop, military, or anything, if I was in any one of those situations, I'd walk away.
Absolutely.
I'd be like, fuck you.
That job is
no,
not worth it.
I'm not fighting my people.
No.
These are my people. This is my family. Like, this whole country is my family.
Mm-hmm.
I love this place. The reason I signed up was to protect these people. I'm not going to fucking fight them. And then the most disturbing image I've seen out of all of them is a very simple one. It's the one in Asheville where they destroyed the medical tent.
Yeah.
They're fucking using guerrilla war tactics against citizens. Cut off
pouring
their
out all
supply.
their water,
Yeah, pour out all the water. Cut
burning
off
the
their
food or
food
whatever.
supply.
Yeah.
Cut off their medicine. I think they sprayed it with acid rounds or something.
Some shit.
So that when they used the bandages or whatever, it would hurt. Can you imagine that? Can you
Yeah.
imagine being at your buddy's house and you have disagreement and then you just start you start a war with him?
Well, I mean, imagine being at work and murdering somebody, and all you get is a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Like, fuck these people.
How many offenses did he have? He had like 8,
It's
right?
up there, man. Yeah, we can read them all off. I want to do a couple things real quick. Firstly, this is breaking news. Kanye West is going to pay for George Floyd's daughter's college tuition.
Oh, I saw that earlier.
That's fucking dope. Also, to get back on the ACAB thing is...
Fuck Kanye West, though. Go on.
Yeah, big fuck Kanye West, for sure. But the thing with ACAB is, like, the people that are saying, like, not all cops are bad, blah, blah, blah. And my favorite way of thinking about it is, one, the people that apply to be cops don't all start out bad. You know, people do want to change the world. And that's why that's the route that they want to take to do so. But the job title in itself is based off of systemic racism and oppression. That's why ACAB is a thing. It's not because, like, oh, fuck this guy for giving me a ticket. It's the job that they picked, until it changes, is built off of oppression.
This is going to be our first podcast.
I know. Also, if you have another one of my favorite things is if you have 1,000 good cops, right? And there's 10 bad cops. If the 1,000 good cops don't report the 10 bad cops, there's 1,010 bad cops.
So, can I say something here?
Please.
So if I was around you, okay?
Right.
And you murdered someone right in front of me, and I had nothing to fucking do with it, but I saw you do it, and I didn't report it, I'm going to jail as an accessory for murder.
Yes.
So, in the eyes of their law, I go to jail for murder, but it's okay for them to not telling each other, or there's some type of code there. See, I don't get. So that is another thing where
It's
the
a
law
G-code,
the
baby.
law applies to us, but not to them.
It's gang shit.
Yeah.
That's another thing I was talking.
They use that Konami code, boy.
Hey, boy,
up,
up.
down, down, left, left, right, A, B, select, start, boom.
Kill black people.
Yeah.
Fucking
Black pickle.
pit bulls. Please don't kill black pit bulls. I love my dog. So I was in a debate the other day with a guy on that same topic, and it was him and his dad, and they were both getting like kind of standoffish because of how I say that Derek motherfucker should be brought out in public and publicly lynched. Is it fucked up to do? Yeah. Have we moved past that as a society? Fuck no. You would think we did, but we haven't moved past the fucking slavery ages or anything, so why the fuck are we moving past this? Hang him in public. Debowel him if you want. I don't care. Do it on fucking PBS.
PBS.
Do it everywhere.
PBS kids.
Thanks to viewers like you.
First, the execution of Derek Chauvin. Then we go back to Arthur.
So that I think that's such a good idea because it would send a message to all these other fucking cops. Like, we're not putting up with this anymore. We can't. We're losing so many people of color and, shit like that because of people like him. Hang him up and let people watch him die. You guys forced us to watch this guy, George Floyd. You forced us to watch him die.
Everyone in the fucking world watched
Yeah,
it.
you guys forced us to watch him be suffocated to death, beg for his dead mother, beg to breathe. Please, everything hurts. Fuck it. Hang him up. But so they were like, that's not justice. That's not how America works. He needs to be put on trial. He needs to be arrested, put on trial, and
How many
convicted.
So you know what's crazy?
Hold on, wait. Because I'm going to forget. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Don't forget, though. So I told them, this is justice. You don't get to decide what justice is, You don't get to decide what justice is. You don't get to decide how people fight their own oppression. You do not get to decide to tell people how to protest. And then I told them, like, and those other 3 cops, the whole root of this was, they said, I don't understand why they're out there spouting no justice, no peace. Derek Chauvin has been arrested. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I don't really give a fuck. You know who I'm talking about.
Cunt.
But he's been arrested. Justice is going to be served. And I was like, there's 3 other cops that are involved who are equally as guilty. They were there. And they were like, no, they're not equally guilty. Maybe they should be fired.
One guy wanted to flip him over.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he didn't do anything.
But they didn't.
He just made a recommendation and would
The
shut
guy that
down.
was the guy that was screaming "Chuck his pulse" was a fireman. They had a fucking paramedic there wanting to go check, and they forced her to stay on the street. These 3 cops are equally as guilty, and this guy that I was talking to was like, they're not equally as guilty. They should be fired for sure, and maybe do a couple months in jail, but they're not equal. What the fuck do you mean? How? And that's when I was like, well, if I went out with your son and murdered somebody, the same point you just made. If I went out and murdered somebody, or he murdered somebody, I watched him do it and didn't do anything to stop him and didn't report him, I would be an accomplice to murder, right? Or an accessory to murder.
Yeah.
Why is it not the same? Fuck all these people. They all need to go in. And thank God, or thank the cat rather, that they have all been arrested now. But justice has still not been served.
Accessories after the fact face a maximum of only half the fine and half the prison time that principals face. So you're looking at 15 years. 15 years in prison.
Yeah.
A couple months, though. That's what they should get.
Yeah,
but
shut
if it was us, 15 years.
Minimum, probably. Depending on how the murder was done. Because that's a fucking barbaric murder, dude. They had him on the ground with his nose crushing into the concrete.
Could you
with
imagine
a fucking knee on his neck?
Could you imagine dying in front of a bunch of people?
No.
I've said
He lost control of his bladder. He was crying out for his mom.
I was saying that before that, imagine dying you're drowning or you're falling somewhere and there's no one around to help you.
Yeah.
That's so different. You're by yourself and it's like, fuck, dude, there's nothing to do. You have nothing.
Which would be horrifying in itself, for sure.
Yeah, but what I think it would be more horrifying to see hundreds of people around you and no one can help you.
Nobody
can help
Everybody
you because
has to
these
sit
4
around and
people
watch.
have a fucking badge.
Yep. It's disgusting,
But
dude.
what I was going to say is that innocent people go to jail every day.
Every day.
And people who are guilty walk away because the cops fuck something up. Mm-hmm. They fuck up the evidence. They don't get the right people. They say the wrong thing in interrogations or do the wrong thing. And then these people fucking walk.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's misery.
So I wanted to do this earlier, but I forgot to search it. But the girl who filmed this is, first of all, a fucking hero. Let's get that out of the way. I'm seeing like a lot of people talk shit about her, or like about her and about her like by proxy.
It's the all lives matter people.
Yeah,
so.
it's them, and it's like the other people that are like sharing the shit. Like if you're being murdered by a policeman, I will not film it. I will help or whatever. This girl is a 17-year-old girl named Darnella Frazier. You're a fucking hero, lady. Fuck these people. Do not let them talk to you like that. Without you, if this shit was not filmed, he'd be at home right now beating his wife.
Guaranteed.
Derek Chauvin, not George Floyd, obviously. Yeah. So, fuck y'all. Like, this shit's so sickening, and this is why we started to do this podcast. This was the main reason, because I've been wanting to do a podcast for a while, and but we just never really have time to do this because we're focused on filming episodes and doing all that shit. But like, this shit that's been going on has literally affected our household. Like, Dylan and I, this is how we've been talking to each other since the 25th.
Yeah, it's affected work. It's affected
It's
here.
affecting everything. Like,
it's affecting everything. So like our funny vibe is just it's gone. It's so hard to be funny right now because
ain't shit sweet right now, dude.
Yeah, and it's just we're usually funny all the time, but even like around the house, we're not as funny as we were because this is just
this is all we talk about.
It's such a sad thing to be happening.
Jordan
right now.
just messaged me like 20 minutes ago. He messaged me and said, "Are you okay today? You're putting off a real cunty vibe. What's bothering you?" And that's how it's been every day almost. Like even the people that I talk to regularly, which is like 3 people or 4. You, the one girl I talk to, Jordan and Frank, and they all notice. They all notice this shit, and all you guys feel the same way I feel about it. And that's, I can't remember who said it, but it said this shit's not going to change until the people who it doesn't affect are as pissed off as the people it affected.
Right.
And that's how it needs to be.
Well, it's a shame because there's so many people who are just so stuck in their ways. Like when this happened, I was like, finally. There's been so many things that divide people. So abortion, kill the baby,
religion,
have to keep the baby, religion, Christianity,
politics.
Don't believe in God. Yeah. Democrat, Republican, fucking there's all these things that separate us.
Yeah.
And then this
all
guy,
man-made shit.
And then this guy fucking murders some dude. He executes a dude in the fucking
George
street.
Floyd.
And then I was like,
we're gonna say his name each time we brought him up, just because.
And then when they execute George Floyd in the fucking street, everyone was like, disgusting, foul, wretched human being. Like that.
Even the most far right.
Even the most far right
Blue
people.
Lives Matter
Even me as a more right leaning person, like. Disgusting. I was like, finally, we can all get together and be like, this is a problem. But then they're like, you're right. You know what? You're absolutely right. Derek killed that man.
Yes.
But
But
as soon as you hear the fucking but, you know that they're gonna make up some shit to defend that guy.
That's funny.
So like,
you said
even though,
because I'm just about to read this post out. I gotta find it. But go ahead.
Even though they don't really like defend him, and they're like, oh yeah, he definitely blah blah blah. But I've talked to some people who are like, yeah, he must have resisted arrest somehow. If he hadn't done that, he'd probably still be alive. And then you look at the transcripts, and the man had a panic attack. That's like 14-year-old me vibes with that. Okay, I was scared.
26-year-old me.
If that man didn't put me up against the tree, I would have fallen flat on the ground because I lost control of my body, man. He was just he was holding me against that tree.
You don't
himself.
even need to look at the transcripts. Watch the video. Look at that man's eyes.
Yeah, he gets scared and then he falls on the ground. He doesn't even resist.
Not George Floyd. I meant Derek. Look at his fucking eyes. He's on a mission. That's his goal.
Yeah, I was talking about when George Floyd when he gets scared and he just hits the ground. Like he doesn't roll around. He doesn't fight back. He just falls on the ground having a panic attack.
Yeah, he can't do anything.
And then it takes 3 people to hold this man down when he's not doing anything. The guy on his back and the guy on his feet would have been enough.
Yeah.
He did not need to be on his neck. He would have been fine. He wasn't even flailing around or moving or anything.
Well, the threat was neutralized. He was on the ground, handcuffed.
Right.
Like, chill. Like, this is done. And the cop that was saying, the cop that was going around saying that shit, like, oh, I think the precinct jumped the gun by firing dude or whatever. Like, part of his defense was like, it's a standard police practice, but your knee is supposed to go across the bridge of the fucking shoulder blades, and it was just like a miscalculation where his knee went. That's not true at all, by the way. He came there to kill that guy. But hypothetically, even if that was true, you're a fucking cop. You don't get to have missteps like that.
Right.
That's like people who fucking drive Uber don't get to have missteps. People who do any other job ever don't get to have missteps.
Yeah, if you fuck something
your job
up,
is like one of the most
you either get
important
fired
jobs.
or written up.
Right. You're going to get in trouble or you're going to get fired. Something's going to happen. You don't get to have a misstep because you've been properly fucking trained. But this fucking guy gets to have a misstep that costs somebody their life. He has children, man.
He's only in jail because it was on video.
He's only in jail because it's on video.
If it wasn't on video, they wouldn't have cared.
And dude, honestly, how shitty as it sounds, and we've said this already, but we both feel this way, like, chances are he's not going to be in jail much longer.
Right.
You know, like, I definitely see him getting out. But what we were saying is saying the phrase "it's awful what saying the phrase, quote, "it's awful what happened and I hope those cops get prosecuted, but," end quote, is the same shit as saying, quote, "I'm not racist, but," end quote. Like,
yeah.
Shut the fuck up. There's no but involved. It's terrible what happened.
He killed a
guy.
guy.
No buts. Fucking hang that guy.
Yeah, he killed George Floyd.
He killed George Floyd.
He killed him, and he not only deserves to be put away, but something needs to change. Because it's obviously a problem. Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin,
Mike Brown.
George Floyd. Who?
Mike Brown.
Who?
Mike Brown.
Yeah, Mike Brown. It's too much. It obviously happens.
And
all
those
the
are
time.
those are just the mainstream names that we know about,
there's
dude.
so many more. There's so many more. It's disgusting.
You can't even. There's no way to even imagine the shit that hasn't been caught on camera. You know. And now with these riots and shit, all these cops are covering up their body cams and badge numbers with tape.
Yep.
And we only know about that because it's so broadly televised right now.
We only know that because it's televised by streamers,
by us,
by the people protesting,
anarchists.
Because the news, all they catch is the good stuff, like how the cops are kneeling and praying with everybody. Yeah. They only do that for the cameras. Dude, as soon as they leave, tear gas is out again.
Yeah.
Tear gas is illegal. You can't use that in warfare.
Not even in war.
You can't use that in fucking
war. And literally all is fair in love, and all is fair in war.
Yeah, except tear gas. But we're gonna use that on our own people. Except the shit that we're using
on our own fucking people. The girl that I'm talking to over out of state or whatever, that she went to a protest in Spokane, Washington, and she messaged me while she was there. She was like sending me videos and shit. It was a peaceful protest, and then she messaged me like, it was awesome. Like the cops actually, kneeled down with us and blah, blah, blah. The shit that they've been doing. And then she left. And like an hour later, tear gas everywhere. Fucking maces. Not maces, but batons.
Probably because of a curfew.
It was before the curfew even happened. And that's what they've been doing is like, well, hold on, I'll get to the curfew shit because that's fucked. But I'm just saying, like, they're kneeling for the photos. And then as soon as they're done taking cameras or taking pictures, the batons come out. They start beating motherfuckers. They start throwing this tear gas shit. And they know how the media works. They know how to work the media because they've been doing it since the fucking invention of the media.
That's why when in Minneapolis when it started and the CNN reporters showed up on scene, that's why they detained them.
Yeah.
To stop the feed.
Yeah.
Because they already knew that they were in a bad light and they were like, we need to stop this. We need to cut this off now until we can get on our feet again and pose pretty for the pictures.
Yeah. And what they've been doing now that they're enforcing curfews or whatever, or now that they've made curfews and shit, I think it was in Chicago, and I don't know for sure, don't quote me, but this is what I've read. In Chicago, I'm pretty sure it was like they created the curfew that day, and they just told people about it. The curfew was 8, and they just told people about it at like 7:45. And then they raised the bridges that people used to get out of downtown, and they trapped them there and arrested people in mass. Like there was like over 1,000. I can't remember where it's at. I'm pretty sure it was Chicago, but I'm not all the way sure. I don't want to sound like I'm spreading false information, but that's what they've been doing is like, oh, it's 7:50. Did you guys know that curfew was in 10 minutes? Good luck getting out of here. Like when did you see the shit where that cop beat the fuck and pulled out that couple?
Out of the car.
Yeah, and there was a white couple right in front of them that just like waved
just let
to.
Go.
I think they even waved to him, and then they ran up, fucking the dude was like, I'm not, dude, I don't need to get out of my car. Like, we're on our way out. And they ran up and slashed his tires, busted his windows, pulled him out, tased him and shit.
Yep.
You can't tell me it's not
I think
a race
they got
thing.
fired
Fuck
too.
you. You can, they did, which they should have. But you can't tell me it's a race, it's not a race thing.
Yeah,
and it's not all a race
very
thing. It's a
clearly-
class thing too. That's
Yeah,
the
but
thing
it's
is like,
mostly a race thing.
yeah, that's the point. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Anything else that you bring up,
Because like I've
is not the point.
I've had class issues too.
Yeah,
but
same.
if I was black and I had class issues,
So much worse.
I'd probably be dead right now.
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
I'd either be dead or I'd have a lot more fucking speeding tickets.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like people keep like that one comment thread on my Facebook or whatever where everybody it was popping off. I posted something, I can't remember what the fuck it was. I think it was like because Nickelodeon did their like 8 minutes and 46 seconds or whatever, or Comedy Central, one of the two. But one of these things, this guy kept fucking going back and forth with me about this shit and about privilege. And it was the same post that the other guy was commenting off. I'm like, Dylan, your life's been shitty. You're not privileged or whatever. And he shared statistics from the Civil War with a picture of dead soldiers. And he said, I wonder if they knew they were privileged. You know, fun fact, this is how many people died in the Civil War, blah, blah, blah. And that shit set me off onto a fucking tangent because, one, yes, sure, that's right. I don't even know if that's right. I'm not checking it, though. That's not what the fuck we're talking about. That is not the point of the conversation. These people absolutely cannot let black people just have a fucking moment in history, you know? They just can't let them fucking voice their thing. Like, it's like that friend you have, you know, not that you, in general. It's like that friend you could have.
Not that you have any friends.
Facts. It's just me, daddy, and I'm not that. But it's like that one friend people have that's like, you tell them a story, but they gotta one-up you, you know? That's the mindset, literally. Like, oh, black people have been being murdered by police, and they're like, police brutality is crazy right now. And they're like, yeah, but what about, you know, the Civil War? Or what about how fucking Irish people were treated when they came over here, or Italian people were treated? Like, dude, right? That sucks, huh? But that's not what the fuck we're talking about. That's not the point. They're missing the point, and they refuse to let the point be heard.
Right.
And that's why people are burning shit, because they
won't.
they refuse to
won't
be
listen.
heard.
Yeah.
Or they want to be heard, but people refuse to listen.
was
Now
gonna-
you have to.
I was gonna say back on the curfew thing. Could you remember when you were a fucking kid and I don't know if you had this, but your parents would be like, "Get home by this time."
Right.
I only remember that when I was a kid. I can't imagine being an adult and then people telling me to go home at 8:00. Dude, fuck you. What if I work? What if
Yeah.
I'm like on the way to work, and what if some guy just slashed my fucking tires, broke my window out, and arrested me, and I have to call my boss and be like, "Hey, yeah, dude, I got arrested for fucking driving to work. Sorry."
Yeah.
Like,
My car's
I
broke
can't
down on
imagine
the fucking...
how free of a country are we in that they can tell us 8:00 you can't fucking go?
Yeah.
I think
And your car gets left there, which is for sure going to get set on fire.
so. Here's my prediction. I think they're gonna let him go.
Yep.
The cop's gonna be let go. Civil war is going to happen. It's gonna be the people versus, you know, cops, military, National Guard, all that shit.
Yeah.
And then it's going to Trump's gonna declare martial law, and I think he's gonna execute Order 66, destroy all the Jedi.
Destroy all the Jedi. Do it.
Do it. That's what I text you, by the way.
I know. I get it now. But, dude, it's fucked. And, like, and while we're doing the curfew thing, that video that we've watched together, where, like, there's, like, a legit militia of police and fucking shit driving and walking down this street, and people are filming it on their porches, and they turn and shoot at them.
Oh, yeah, they're just
with that
shooting people
paintball gun or whatever
inside
the
their
fuck.
house who are on their porch.
People are on their porch filming. Like, wow, this shit's crazy. And all you can hear is, get the fuck in your house. Get the fuck in your house. And while they're still filming, what you hear is, light them up. Light them up. Like, dude, this isn't fucking Call of Duty, bro. This shit's real. This is real people's lives. And I know that most of these people grew up, you know, fucking bullying the fuck out of people their whole lives, you know. And they bullied people throughout their whole school experience. They met a wife. They beat on her. They had kids. They beat on their kids, and now it's not enough. They don't get that high anymore. They've been beating them so long, it doesn't even bother. It's nothing. It's normalcy for them. They don't give a shit. They don't feel it anymore. So now they need to take it outside. They need to beat these fucking people, innocent people that don't know what the fuck's going on. It's fucked up. You should be able to stand on your porch and film whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
You can film the police. Your porch is your property. We don't have anything. We have nothing besides
even when you
our
own your
words
house
and our property.
Even when you own your property, the city still owns that.
That's
property.
what I'm saying. Like, you're supposed to fucking. I should feel like I can stand on my porch. Like Dylan and I's friendship pretty much blossomed because of fucked up police activity that happens on our street. That we would go outside, watch, and drink beers. Can you imagine if one of them were like, "Y'all got to get the fuck in your house.
You can't
be out here watching us. You can't be out here filming us." And whenever we see shit, we film the police. We always film the police because you never know.
Right. They could detain someone and then just start fucking spitting on them. Did you see that?
You just never know.
Did you see that?
What?
The cops in Florida or something. I think it was one of the southern states.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the fuck was that noise?
Sorry.
They arrested a guy, a protester, sat him on the ground, and this cop spit on him 8 times.
Which is actually assault.
Just kept spitting on him. Every chance he got, he would spit on him again. They were like, these girls were like, "We're recording you. We can see you. Like we've got this on camera." And he would spit on him every time they said that. How disgraceful is that,
dude?
You don't know. I hate spit. I would be flailing. I would be headbutting this guy. Whatever I could do.
You would die. You'd get killed.
Yeah, I would. I'd rather die than have spit on me.
Yeah, you legit can't handle. That was like one of our first interactions that made us realize who each other are as well. You know, like when I licked your finger, that showed to you that I'm like a weird dude that doesn't really think about much, and then that showed me that you fucking hate spit and like are into that. Not. I wouldn't say you're a germaphobe. Would you?
No, I can't be a germaphobe in my line of work. It doesn't matter because I work on cars. So
it's like body fluid for you, right?
No, I'm saying like you say germaphobe. So like I work on cars. You know, these wheels run a bunch of shit over. People blow their noses and put it everywhere. There's boogers on steering wheels. Like
that's disgusting.
I couldn't be a germaphobe doing my job, but like I'm talking bodily fluids and shit like that. So like, yeah.
But you love semen.
No, I don't.
Anyway, we got to sprinkle in some bullshit throughout here, you know. But yeah, man, it's fucked. It's fucked. That's terrifying. That's the most like it's really fucked up to watch the police kill George Floyd, you know. That's a disgusting video. And all those videos where they're killing all these men. Mm-hmm. It's disgusting. But the one that freaked me the fuck out the most was them running down a whole street forcing people to stay inside.
Yeah, because it's like they're taking the most basic liberties we have away, and I think it's kind of ironic that most of the people who are protesting are Democrat, so they're more to the left side, and they were the people saying cops should be the only ones with guns, civilians don't need guns,
which is awful. And
now I bet they're like, okay, we need our guns,
but which is also another good thing that came from this, like those people that think that way. I'm not a fucking Democrat for sure, but. The people that think that way, now maybe they'll start waking up like, damn, this is why people need AR-15s.
This is why those guns are needed.
Because your little fucking Rinky 22 ain't busting through that bulletproof, and this motherfucker's coming in.
Yeah, you've got a whole militia coming to your house telling you get outside, you're going to jail because you were in they saw a video of you in a protest a couple days ago. So,
and the facial recognition technology, bro?
Yeah, if they come up to my house and they're going to tell me you and your family are going to jail, I'm fighting.
Yeah, we're fully loaded over here, baby.
I'm fucking fighting everybody.
No, fuck that.
Come and get me.
And it's like, dude, it's terrifying because, I saw a post today. This is, I fucking hate the people that, I don't hate them, but like, I fucking hate the statement like, Trump is basically Hitler or whatever, At least I did up until recently because it makes a lot of sense. But like, the shit that's happening now, to me, seems like they're getting ready for something a lot worse. Mm-hmm. So how far are we away from people coming into our house and taking us away? Just taking us.
Just rounding us up.
Just rounding us up and putting us down, putting us in those fucking chambers, man. It's fucking horrifying. And we have kids here, you know?
Yeah, I was thinking of putting up some like a fake wall where the basement is,
Yeah.
and then putting another fake wall into the crawl space. So
Yeah,
that
we
if they
definitely-
found
maybe
that
bleep
wall,
that out. Don't let them know.
well,
Yeah,
they don't know where I live, so
I agree though. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that. I've always wanted that, or like a bookshelf.
my old house, the one I'm renting out, had a perfect space for a bookcase that would lead to the attic.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't put one there, but if I was gonna stay there, I was gonna put a revolving bookshelf there.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, it would have been super cool. One of the books, I wanted to have it so that one of the books unlocked it,
Yes,
and then you could push
exactly.
it.
Like you pull it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. When we get super rich and famous, because obviously that's gonna happen with the content we're putting out recently.
Yeah.
We're definitely appealing to the people with money. But I definitely want that. Yeah, when we get an office, I want at least one of those.
If you have watched this far, we promise the future ones will be funny. We just
well, our whole channel
even
is
if
based
no
on
one
comedy.
watches this, we just need to get it off our chest.
Yeah, this is for us more than anything. Well, plus also it's like because I've wanted, like I said, I've wanted to do a podcast forever, and the way you do anything that you've wanted to do forever is just to start it. You know, just do it.
Yep, just like our Let's Plays.
Exactly. We just started doing it, and it's a daily thing for us now. So but yeah, it's not always going to be politics and shit like this. But
This is probably the only time it's going to be that, unless
I mean, I
fucking
don't
another
know.
white cop kills another black
Yeah,
guy.
it depends. Like, it depends. It all depends. I think most of this shit's gonna be like timely. You know, like whatever's happening in the world.
Yeah, we're not gonna like fucking sit with our thumb up our ass like other fucking YouTubers and be like, oh well, we don't want to talk about it because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. No,
We don't want to damage our brand.
yeah, fuck your feelings, man. If you can't separate your politics to watch us be funny, then fuck you. Go unsubscribe.
Yeah, fuck you.
If-
I mean, if you disagree with what we're saying,
if you
anyway,
disagree-
unsubscribe. Fuck you. For real. I mean, that's
I mean,
how I
you
feel
can.
about it.
Well, the way I feel about it is you can disagree with what we say and then still think we're funny. Like,
I don't want a fan base that's based off people that fucking. I mean, you can disagree with some of the shit, but like the core issues, you should definitely agree with.
Right.
If you're gonna stick around, because like, yes, this podcast was political, but it still gets we talk about this stuff. Like this is you have to talk about real life, man. People.
we can't ignore this.
Yeah, you can't ignore the shit. You can't just sweep it under the rug. So even if it's not on the podcast, if something happens again, we are going to be vocal about it. That's the whole thing. But like what we're hoping for is that we can keep the Let's Plays funny, just as comedy. And then if something happens that's weighing on us that we need to talk about, we'll put it on the podcast. And also, like the podcast can be funny. We can just have regular conversations and shit. But we're going to try to allocate any politics or any other shit also to the podcast. Right?
Right.
Is that what you're thinking with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because with Dark Souls and stuff, it just turned into politics.
Yeah. That just happened.
It just happened.
We didn't
But
want it to happen.
To
like
be
that,
fair,
but-
like when we started Dark Souls, that's when like all this shit started popping off.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why we had to do this, get
Yeah.
it off our chest, and stop letting it bleed into Let's Plays.
Exactly, because it's definitely damaging the comedy factor, and that's what we want. Like we said at the very beginning, like we want this to be funny. We want you guys to laugh and enjoy a little 30 minutes a day with us or whatever. But like when it comes to shit like this, we don't have much of a platform, but for the platform we do have, we want to use it.
Yeah.
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 How long is this so far?
So far, we're almost an hour and a half in.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to tap it out or what?
I mean, I guess I don't really think there's anything else that we need to cover. That's pretty much everything.
Yeah. Do you feel good?
I feel a lot better.
Me too, actually. We needed to do this.
Yeah.
If you guys have listened to this whole thing, we really do appreciate it. Once again, I definitely don't think that this is what our channel is all about. It's mostly just like dick stuff. But
yeah, sit on a cake and eat ass, or eat ass and sit on a dick.
yeah, something like that. Would you rather fuck your mom or your dad? Like, shit like that. So
Yeah, but this is something like if you're
This is
out
serious
there
for
and
us,
you
for
don't
real.
you don't know what to do, like just talk about it.
just talk about it.
Talk about it with someone. Go,
Let your voice
go
be
fucking
heard.
vote, man.
Just talk.
Yeah.
Fucking. That's why Dylan named that episode we did for Black Lives Matter, Use Your Voice, because everyone has one, except for the people that don't.
Yeah.
But like
I
most
mean, even
people
if
have
it's
a
a
voice.
small one, you always have a vote.
Yeah.
You
I
can
mean,
vote. You can go fucking put something on Facebook. Even if 2 people see it, that's 2 people that didn't see it before.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're watching this, you're obviously on the internet. You probably have a Facebook.
And you're one of the
or an
3 people
Instagram.
who's probably going to listen to it.
What's up, use mop? But like, you have a Facebook or an
Elo.
Instagram. Elo, the rapper. Dylan with an I and a Y in the future.
And Dan.
And then maybe.
Maybe he's like,
But,
wait,
like-
politics in my games. No thanks, game developers.
No thanks, let's players.
Filthy.
Filthy. But if you're on the internet like you are, because you're watching this, you have social media of some sort, you know. And if you feel strongly about something, and people are, and people are doing something that you oppose or whatever, fucking speak up, man. Let that shit be heard. Silence is deafening, and it's disgusting. You have a right to be heard, and you have a right to say what the fuck you want to say, regardless of what they're saying.
Facts.
All right. Well, I think this was a good first start, don't you?
Yeah, if you watch this far and you're interested in hearing more, leave some topic comments.
Yeah.
And we'll,
for real, man.
Next time we'll write some stuff down and come in with a topic.
Yeah, we kind of came
Wait.
in like guns blazing with this. We
Yeah.
we had no preparation.
Let us know what you want to hear or what you'd like to hear sometime down the road, whatever. You know, we're trying to keep it like separate. Like, we want our Let's Plays to be like, we talk about the game and we make funny jokes, and then like this stuff we can talk about real world stuff or about ourselves.
Yeah, the podcast is going to be like, we can just say, we could talk about whatever the fuck we want.
It's a
there's
free
like
for all.
nothing off
Just
limits.
give us some topics if you want us to talk about something.
Too much to say is based off freedom of speech. That's what this is. So we're going to talk, and you know, some days it's going to be like, man, fuck 12, and then other days it's going to be like, dude, you remember when you thought your dad was sexy or whatever? It's gonna be like, you know, it's a toss up.
Yeah, you remember when we were smoking these meats?
Say my name, baby. All right, man. Well, do you want to do the outros?
I think we'll turn left.
Let's turn left here. Shameless plugs.
So what's our sign off?
I guess that
Does Super Mega have one?
what?
I've never watched their podcast. I know you do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, do they have an
No.
epilogue?
I mean, sometimes they do like comedic outros and shit like that, but normally it's just like
Just sends.
yeah, sometimes it just ends.
Oh well.
Bye.
Boom, doom, da doom, boom, boom. Boom. Ba-dum, boom. Ba-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. Yeah.